Hi guys, welcome to Garden Theory. In today's video, we're going to go over some landscape design ideas in Minecraft. And we're going to first start off by building this house you see behind me. So thank you for clicking on today's video, and let's get to it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. We're going to walk through the house that I built here. This is just supposed to be it's just kind of a typical like A-frame wooden classic American house. But we're going to focus mostly on the landscape today. I didn't really do anything inside. This house is just kind of a placeholder. But we want to talk a little bit about the landscape that I built here today. So let me hop in over here. I had some thoughts while I was building this house, and I decided on the landscaping to do a curvilinear design. And so when we were talking about our landscape design principles, and if you're not familiar with what the principles and elements of landscape design are, I've done a whole video series going into all those topics. But basically, just for this video, a curvilinear design uses circles as its main shapes, and so we try to do a lot of arches. And and to be fair, to do circles in Minecraft is pretty challenging, so you kind of have to use your imagination a little bit here with me. But we're essentially trying to make big arcs, big circles that go around through our landscape design spaces when we're designing our overall lawn shape or our beds, and even our hardscape, like our pathing. We could have incorporated some curvilinear design in the past, but I decided to keep it pretty formal and rectangular. So it's all mostly straight lines, right, 90-degree angles off of sidewalks and things like that. But kind of pairing both of these together kind of helps create some natural contrast from the harsh lines and 90-degree angles of the house compared to the curved linear design of the landscape. So those two can kind of complement each other by contrasting in that way. But just kind of walk through what we're looking at. I know Minecraft, you kind of have to use your imagination, and there's only so much we can do in the game. But essentially, this podzol is our mulch, grass and moss is our lawn, freshly cut, and then we have a variety of different flowers that I chose to place in here. So these are mostly just placeholders. It's a little tough to have a solid landscape bed. You know, in Minecraft, there's a lot of gaps because you can only put one flower per block. So you'll have to use your imagination a little bit on these. But I mostly went with yellow colors for our flowers to kind of give us a nice pairing with the blue house. And so this is just like one example of, there's like a million different ways you can design your landscape bed. This is just kind of like a splotchy kind of like idea where you're just doing big splotches of different types of flowers. And I personally am a big fan of doing big narrow streaks like this. I think this looks really nice, doing nice big streaks, and we'll see a little bit more of that once we get to the backyard. But I wanted to talk a little bit about tree placement when it comes to your house. I know I've talked about this in some of my common mistakes landscape videos, but it's really good to have a nice showcase tree like this cherry tree here off to the corner of your house, and any other ornamentals like large trees or vines and stuff like that. Ideally, you don't want to block your front of your house from the road to keep your curb appeal up. And a lot of that's kind of personal taste, but just kind of a general idea. It's good to keep your trees off to the corners. And you also don't want to put your trees right up close to your house because eventually the roots of this tree will interfere with the house's foundations, and it's generally not a very good good experience for anybody in the long term. So it's good to give some space from your house and your tree. So these are probably more than far enough away from your house. The roots are not likely to cause too much issues in the long term. Now they may cause issues. This is pretty close to the sidewalk here, so you may get issues like that. So that'd be another thing to consider. Just giving your trees enough space so they can breathe. And generally, when I design trees, so we kind of talk about the rain shadow. So anything under the leaves of this tree. So if you imagine, if we're looking above the tree, it makes this shape here. And if we go to the ground here, right, anything under this tree should just be like mulch or landscape. There shouldn't be anything we're doing under this tree a whole lot. Just because, like see we have the sidewalk under the tree and the roots are gonna interfere with it. So generally we don't want anything like permanent next to it. I mean it's fine if you want to put like a bench or something. But generally, no large hardscapes under a tree like that unless there's enough room for it. Again, it kind of depends on the tree species, but that's just kind of a general guideline I would advise. But going on to the backyard, so I've kind of split this lawn into two sections. We have this main section in the front, and one thing I also wanted to talk about was xeriscaping. And that's a term I think is starting to become a little bit more well known with people as we try to use water-wise landscaping techniques. And xeriscaping isn't necessarily zero lawn. I think some people get a little confused sometimes. I believe from the official xeriscaping, I don't know if I forget what their acronym is, but they recommend doing no more than 30% of your total landscape area as lawn. And when we talk about our total landscape area, so if we're looking above this house, our total landscape area, right, is everything within our property line that isn't our house. So we take our whole property minus our house square footage, and that's our landscape space. So generally, they don't like if you're following to be using water-wise landscaping where you don't want to use too much water. Ideally, you want to use less than 30% of your lawn. And I know some people online get a little crazy. They're very anti-lawn. But lawn does serve some purposes. It's not completely void. I think sometimes, especially in the US, where your entire plot, where your house is nothing but grass, it starts to lose its purpose a little bit. And it does create a nice look, especially in the front of your house. It does help to calm the space too. If you have nothing but flowers and stuff, it can be pretty busy. So it's nice to have a place for your eyes to rest in the front of your house, while complementing it also with, native flowers and plants and bushes and trees and all of that. You know, I I think it does serve a nice purpose, especially for that classic American house vibe with the lawn. I think it does serve some purposes. I am a big fan of using lawns for recreational areas, so I try to keep the lawn as purposeful as possible. I don't want to keep any lawn that isn't serving me any purpose than I have to. So it's nice to have a little bit of lawn in the front. Kids can play in it, especially if you're in a neighborhood. Front lawn is a classic place to hang out. Lemonade stands, all of that. And then I created back here. I like to always keep our maintenance guys in mind. So if you ever have like a mowing crew do your landscape, it's nice to have access points for them to come through. So that's why I left this little bit of lawn that goes across the middle here. Or sorry, not the middle, but the side. Just so their lawnmowers can have an access point in here. Because if you keep it all beds up to your fences on both sides, then they kind of gotta carry lawn mowing equipment across through your beds. And even you as a homeowner, you're gonna have to like find a path to push a push mower or a ride-on lawnmower. So it's always nice to have access points for your maintenance equipment. And then in the backyard here, again looking here at the back, we just have a little arbor or something over the back door. And then I just put these stepping stones that go across the lawn here over to a garden space. And I just put this gravel around it to represent our walking paths that we're going to need around our flower beds as we come to weed and tend these guys. So this is just an example of two garden boxes back here. And then this kind of goes more into what I was just talking about with one of the ways I like to do some of the features in my landscape. I like to do really long streaks of bushes and grasses and then our flowers. So that's one thing I like to do. I like to interweave the bushes as we go through here in between the trees and kind of organic shapes. I'm more of an organic kind of look to a landscape than if we just did straight lines and a grid or blocks of squares. So, the main thing I like with landscaping is adding a lot of variety of different textures while also keeping kind of some cohesion and a uniform look. So we're kind of sticking with two main colors, right? We got our greens and then we got our yellows. And so keeping those two colors, keeping it simple, we could do multiple colors, but they'll start to lose its uniformity a little bit. So this, I think, is a good mix of, we're keeping a certain style in this bed, but it's not overly formal, and this feels like it could be a park or something in nature. So I'm a big fan of replicating nature in my designs. And you can see we have all of our trees in our landscape areas. I am not a fan of having trees in the lawn. I think this is kind of a pain to keep care of, and they end up getting bumped or scratched by weed whackers or lawnmowers. So I always keep my trees in the flower beds. I don't put trees in the lawn. I think you can, and I think it can look like a nice park feel, but I'm just not a huge fan of that. And then we have a little patio area right here. Um, that's super fun. I like to have little spots or nooks where I can sit and enjoy the nature around me, as well as whether I'm reading or writing or something or drawing. It's always nice to have little getaway spaces to get to. And so I didn't really add a path to this spot. And I don't always need to have paths to connect. I think especially for a backyard, just having it across the lawn's not a big deal. I think if this was like a business or something and you're gonna have a lot of people walking back and forth every day, eventually, right, you're gonna have little deer trails, going through here where the grass starts to die and sometimes it's better to just have a path instead of just a trail through the grass. And then I have the lawn come all the way back over here. Again, maybe this lawn doesn't serve a whole lot of a purpose, but I think it's kind of nice to have some little beds here. And again, it's just kind of overall, again, a lot of times I like to look at a top-down look when designing my flower beds. And so we try to keep real nice, gentle curves all throughout here. And overall, I try to keep big arcs rather than small ones. Because if you want to irrigate your lawn, it's not a good idea to have your beds in a super wavy fashion because it makes it really hard for irrigation sprinklers to reach all of your areas if you're watering your lawn. So it's better to keep gentle, large, and larger arcs in your naturalistic curvilinear designs. And so that's what I tried to replicate the best I could. Again, it's a little tough to get the curves in Minecraft, but you can kind of see it with your eye. If this was a straight line, you can kind of tell the main gist I'm trying to get across. But yeah, this is kind of the main bit that I made here. I had a lot of fun with this. Um, I'm curious how you guys like the landscape. Let's go down here. I'm curious how you guys like the landscape. I had a lot of fun constructing it, and I really like Minecraft as a tool to teach landscape design principles and showcase different ideas and practices. I've done another Minecraft video just like this one before, where I've done a Japanese garden interior court. I've done a few other things in Minecraft on this channel. So I hope you guys liked it. I currently am renting, so I don't have a whole lot of space to implement, big landscape projects on a property or something like that. Um, so I hope you guys don't mind me using games like Minecraft or any other kind of games like The Sims or something like that to teach y'all landscape design principles. I am going to try to continue to make a video every week for the remainder of the year is my current goal. So far, we got 3 videos out, and I'm continuing to work on that goal to make a video for y'all every week. So please subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me, or if you want me to do your house in Minecraft, I could do that too. I have a Discord I can send you if you're interested in, and you can message me what your house looks like and your property line, and I could maybe try to do a landscape design for you in Minecraft. Or I can do it on pen and paper and we can do that for a video too. Or if you want to commission me for any help or anything like that. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching here at Garden Theory, and I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Goodbye!